Hello, what's up? It's really sunny right now. Um, wow. I was gonna try and film there, but that's just way too, it's too bright. So, social media. I, okay, it's, like the middle of January of 2020. This year is bringing big changes for lots of us. I feel it, I know it, I believe it, I've heard it. There's just a lot of things like if you've been like thinking about doing something, like now is the time to do it. And like we're letting go of a lot of like toxic shit from the tens. Is that what we would call that? From like, 2010 to 2019, like there was a lot of stuff that happened. And a big part of like what happened was just that social media got like it just like started.
Sorry, I just saw that my bread was like directly in the sunlight and it was making me nervous because I thought I saw mold on it. I just don't really want it to be like in the bag all warm and stuff like that because I don't know why I feel like, I just lost my train of thought because I got a text message. But
Anyways, social media. Yeah, social media, like, of course it was kind of like it started and was like formed in, the 2000s. Or like that, yeah, like I don't know, I want to say it was like around like 2006 that like actual social media places like started becoming a thing. And it's really interesting for people of my age who have never like known life without technology. And it's really weird because we get this kind of like disapproval for that, and it's like, bitch, I can't control when I was born. Like, why are you getting like annoyed with me because like I've never, like I'm too young to like know life without social media. Like, I don't know. Or not even without social media, but without like cell phones and the internet and everything. Like, I don't know, people would just always like say weird things to people my age, and honestly, like I wish we were given a little bit more like slack because it was fucking hard. And like we don't fucking know the results of like what, I mean, we're starting to see like what social media does to us, but like there's never been this before. And the weird thing about it is that social media is like it's like a whole separate like place to go. Like, you know how you have your like bedroom and you have your house and like your like places that you live, like it's another place like that. Or like a job or like somewhere that you are going frequently, and it's going to be an environment that affects you. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Social media has a lot of things, has a lot of power to do a lot. Like, you see, like, when has stuff been like viral before? I feel like the only thing that was viral before social media was like diseases, I don't know, or like illnesses. I just shook the table. But like I feel like that's what like of course like there would be like wars and like things like that were going on that were like viral and like big news, of course, like whatever, like, but nothing goes viral like it does now. Oh my god, the wind is really intense today, and these windows always make noises when it's windy and it freaks me out. But anyways, yeah, it's really weird because social media, like my generation is like the guinea pigs. Like, in a way, we're all the guinea pigs because it's new, and so like even if you're older and you're on it, like you don't know the effects. But for us, like having it at such a young age, and of course this is all the generations following us are having this as well, but we're the first ones, so like we really are not sure of, I mean, really we're not sure of anything in this world, but with social media, like we just don't know what, like, I don't know. So it got to a point where I was like really starting to hate social media. I've been on it for a very long time. I was on it, I think, since I was like 11 or 12, because I know that when I was on it, I lied about my age to get on it, and on most of them you had to be 13. So I know that I've been on it since about 2011, 2012. Like Facebook, I think, was the first one I got. and then Instagram, and then Snapchat, and then Twitter. And I think those are like the main four. And I've been watching YouTube for a really long time as well. I guess YouTube was kind of like the first one for me, but it was never, I guess I did post things on it, but to me, YouTube is a little bit of a different place. Like, each of them are very different, you know, each platform is kind of definitely different and serves a different purpose and has a different vibe to it, but they all kind of share the same, like, thing of social media, you know? They all have that in common, but, yeah, I've been on social media for a really long time. I, you know, loved it for a really long time. I thought social media was great. I could talk to all my friends. I could post pictures of myself doing cool things. I could make videos of myself doing whatever and post funny whatever I wanted. And like, of course I was a kid then, so the things that I made were like, you know, like tween posts. They were kind of weird, but I remember when it came out, like, I had no, you know, like, I just post whatever. Like, what? Oh, this is a fun post. Like, I'm gonna post this. And it's just so funny how different it is now, because so much more thought is put into it on a lot of places. And so I kind of stopped using Instagram for a while, even though that ultimately became like my main social media that I used. I really kind of started, like, backed off Facebook and just like wasn't really using that. And I was using Snapchat like pretty frequently, and never for like really explicit purpose, or like, you know, nudes is what I'm saying. I mean, I did, but that's a whole other thing that I don't even want to get into, because it's a bad thing to happen. But anyways, but that's like another thing, is that it exposed children and like the internet. I mean, I guess children get exposed to things like very early on, like a lot earlier than we realize, or than we like typically think, because like even if a kid is not like actively like, you know, engaging in an activity, that doesn't mean they don't know about it, you know what I mean? So, you know, these kids learn and hear some crazy things at school, so yeah, and they get exposed to things. So I don't know, social media was just a really kind of, there was a lot of stuff out there, but I stopped kind of using Instagram. I stopped like posting. I got a Finsta, or a spam account. Those became popular in like 2016, I would say, and that was like a game changer, because people had started developing like their main was like an aesthetically pleasing, this is things that they wanted to show everybody. But then your Finsta and your spam account, you can post whatever you want. You can post your nudes, and like it's okay, and like, you know, I don't know, it's not necessarily like you can post your nudes and it's okay, like do what you want with your body, but I'm just saying, like, I just, looking back, like, it's just unsafe. It's so unsafe. And like, we were children. We were not, like, a lot of the things that were happening on there, like, just, so, yeah, but anyways, I had my Finsta. I never posted things on there I never posted, like, nudes or anything. I was very, like, what my Finsta was, because I feel like everybody's Finsta was a little bit different. Some people had Finstas where they, like, posted just, like, random pictures, or, like, memes, or, like, I don't know, and then, you know, like, some brief kind of caption about, like, whatever the fuck. And other people, it was more, like, nudes and, like, selfies and, like, just, you know, whatever the fuck. And then there was, well, all of them are kind of whatever the fuck. That was, like, the borderline of the spam account. You kind of just, like, talk, you know? And my spam account was, like, just, like, whatever, you know, random pictures of myself. I stopped, when I got my Finsta, I just, like, stopped posting on my main account. I was like, I don't like this page. I'm much happier posting what I want on my Finsta. And it was just, like, all a bunch of random ass, like, it was mainly me ranting, or just, like, talking, literally just talking. And after a while, I was like, why am I doing that? Nobody wants to hear me talk. Nobody cares. And I got that mindset, and then I just, like, stopped posting altogether. And well, that's not necessarily, I don't know. Things changed this past year, 2019. I was starting to really hate it. Then I started getting off spam. I started becoming really insecure and about like who was following me. So I got rid of like a shit ton of followers. Was only letting people that I like trusted or like had like, you know, some kind of like established like friendship with. Um, follow me, or just like it was people that I used to know really well but like not so much anymore. And then it just felt weird because there was a bunch after going to college. There was like just like three different like groups of people, and it was just weird. And so then I went to London, and I barely had any like phone service most of the time because I didn't get a lot of like data. And I just like also just like lost interest in it. And it was really strange because I would have thought like if I was going somewhere and traveling, then I would have been wanting a place to post all of these pictures. And that really just like wasn't the case. Like there was something on that trip that just like really made me like, it's like I really don't care about posts. Like I don't want to post anything. Like I mean, and I did post some things, but there's just like a weird feeling that came to me every time I posted something. Um, it was just like, is this okay? Oh, my battery is low. Okay. But every time it was just like, oh, is this okay to post? Like, are people gonna want to see this? What are they gonna like? I don't know. Like, I have to come up with the perfect caption. Like, I would also get really worried about posting too many selfies because I didn't want to seem conceited, and like, that's just sort of like, I don't know. And still, I'm like, I don't know what to post. Like, I don't know. I still feel that. Like, I'm still figuring it out. But what I did was I just made a whole new Instagram. I literally was like, I had done so many, you know, like cleanses and like I can't talk. Archiving like all my posts, and or archiving a bunch, or you know, just like going through my followers and who I was following like all the time, cleaning it out. And like honestly, it just like never helped. And I think part of the reason why it never helped was because I still wasn't sure if the people that were following me like actually wanted to be following me. And I don't know why, like I've also never been like obsessed with likes or like how many followers I have. If anything, I don't really like to have as many followers because I'm like, I don't know this many people, and I'm like, I don't know if I want this many people like just like knowing me, and like how many of those people actually know you. And like I don't want to give people like the wrong idea of me, and I feel like social media, it's very easy to do that, and I feel like I don't know how to like accurately depict like who I am. And I just like really don't want to give anybody the wrong impression, because I feel like on social media there is so much comparison. It is so easy to compare yourself to people because you're going just like you do on your page of, you know, going through your post and think about what you're posting. You're reading all of these other people's experiences, and because you have this picture with it and you have like them and you're seeing it and you're always there, you're putting these other people's experiences into your brain that like you. And the thing about it that gets it like weird, other than, you know, like consuming media, is that like you know these people, or like you feel some type of like, oh, this is real life. Like I can, like they're living that, like I can, like why am I not? Why don't I do that? Because, you know, you can kind of think the same way with like reading a book or like watching a movie. You know, you're like taking in somebody like these other experiences into your own brain. But with social media, it's kind of similar, but you're doing this with people that are real, that you know, and like not all of them are real, but you know what I mean. Like there's like fake accounts, and some of them are like companies, so it's like that's different. But that goes to another thing, is that social media is just so like so powerful in the ability of like what you can do on social media, the messages and like the things that can spread so fast, and also how much money people make from social, like people are literally in like social media influencers. That is their job. Old people or just like anybody over the age of like 35, that blows their mind. They're like, what the fuck is an influencer? I mean, I guess not all, like, but I feel like that's kind of the age that people are like, huh? Like, and I get it. Like, I also am like, your living is putting your stuff on social media? Like, what? But, you know, we're in a new age, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. But I deleted my Instagram and made a new one. I had this new one for a while. Like, I made the account and never set it up, and I told somebody about it, and I was like, I think I want to make a new Instagram. And they were like, don't do that. Don't be that person. Just clean out your Instagram. And I was like, okay. Like, but, like, literally, guys, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And I'm not saying that just because I made a new Instagram means that you're perfect, or that I'm, like, I have it all figured and it's perfect now, because that's not the case. But that's the other thing, is that I really would just love to see Instagram pages that aren't perfect. You know what I mean? Like, where people don't have to, like, set this, like, perfect standard of themselves, because nobody is, like, perfect. This was something big for me, was when I realized that I'm a perfectionist. And so originally I would see, or I have tended to be a perfectionist. I still am, because I like my new understanding of it better. I, for a long time, saw perfection as, like, everything going to my plan, and as I planned out in my head, and as I dreamed, and as I envisioned. But that will never happen. That kind of perfect does not exist anywhere. I mean, like, sometimes I guess it sort of can, but it won't. Like, it will never go exactly how you want. Maybe it can be really close, but most of the time, it is not going to go as planned. And it's kind of interesting, because, like, if I would have asked myself, like, 5 years ago, if, like, where I am now, like, was this your plan? Or, like, you know, like, is this what you dreamed? And it's, like, because some people are like, oh, like, 5 years ago, I would have, like, dreamed that I would be here. But, like, honestly, I'm not really surprised. Like, I'm like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Like, this is where I was, like, wanting to go. But it doesn't look at all like I had ever thought it would. Like, I didn't know what it was going to look like. So you kind of have to, first of all, lose this expectation of what it's going to be. And once you lose that expectation, here's the new meaning. Like, when I realized that being perfect is not going exactly as I planned, but instead happening exactly how it's supposed to, and in the end it will work perfect, because everything, like see how I'm like, it builds, and I'm like, don't, like, this thing, like, it goes in, like, it everything works exactly the way it's supposed to. And I don't necessarily mean, sometimes I feel really kind of, like, shitty, or I guess, like, untruthful saying that, because for some circumstances it's like, well, what about, like, when people, like, die, or just, like, really horrible instances in general, like, of, like, mass, like, you know, horrible things. It's like, why is this happening? And it's like, it may seem really bad, and well, this is getting too spiritual. I'm not even talking about social media anymore. I'm gonna stop myself there, because I'm getting into a whole other thing. But I can talk about that another time. But yeah, I just kind of got the urge to, like, sit down and talk about social media, because it's really interesting, and I keep playing with this little business card. It's just so interesting that we're, like, the guinea pigs, and we're learning about this now, and we're all learning about it together. But I just really think social media needs a big old glow up. Like, we all had to glow up, so does social media, you know what I mean? Like, we have to adapt. Like, Instagram literally made us, like, stop seeing other people's likes, because, like, people just couldn't handle it. But yeah, it's just been crazy. I kind of, like, lost my train of thought. I was looking, oh, I dropped it. I have this little spoon. It's really freaking cute, and then it has this little horse. Can you see that? This little horse thing on it, on the end. And sometimes it's nice to, like, pick things up with it. Okay, well, this video has been almost 20 seconds, 2011, so I'm going to stop right about here because I think that just makes a lot of sense.